If you clicked on this video, you're probably on the fence about buying Dark and Darker. Whether it's because of all the drama, or because you just don't know what the game is and don't know if you'd like it, this video will help you make that decision for yourself. We'll go into the overall gameplay of Dark and Darker, the price, which edition you should buy if you decide to buy the game, and some of the drama going on behind the scenes regarding the game's development. I'll keep things brief and to the point, and I played every single playtest before the early access release, so I know what I'm talking about. With all that being said, let's get into it. Dark and Darker is a PvPvE extraction game, much like Tarkov, but instead of giving you guns and grenades, it gives you swords and magic. Whew! It has you diving into fantastical dungeons and really delivers the feeling of looting and pillaging these forgotten structures. The game has a bunch of classes and an onslaught of terrifying and goofy monsters you have to fight to survive. The gameplay loop is simple. Pick which skills and gear you want, go into a map either alone or with your friends, and fight through monsters and other players, all the while searching for an extract portal so you don't die to the ever-encroaching storm of locusts. Nope. As I said before, the game includes many different classes, all with their own unique playstyles and gear options. You have spellcasters like the Warlock, Wizard, Bard, and Cleric, close range brawlers like the Rogue, Barbarian, and Fighter, and the Ranger, a bow-wielding duelist in a class of their own. When you first make your character, the game only gives you a starter set of gear, which you keep even if you die. At level 1, you have 1 perk slot and 2 skill slots. With spellcasters like the Wizard, you use the spell memory skill to choose which spells you would like to use in your build, some taking up more spell memory than others and having less charges. You spawn in a random part of the map and fight monsters while looting and staying inside the circle to avoid taking damage from the storm. At certain points throughout the raid, escape portals will spawn in random locations within the circle, and you'll either have to fight other players or sneak around to ensure your escape, as there are a few less portals than there are people in each lobby. If you die, you lose all loot and extra gear you had on you and are sent back to your stash with only the starter gear. If you extract, you can stick all that you want to keep into your stash for later use and sell all your valuables to the merchants or put gear you don't want onto the player market to make some money. You can use this money to invest in better gear and healing items to make your next raid a bit easier, or gamble it away at the Goblin Merchant in the hopes of rolling into an insane item. Now, if you've done any other research on the game, you've probably seen videos like Dark and Darker, What Went Wrong. These are referring to a lawsuit against Iron Mace, the developers of the game, by Nexon, claiming that they've stolen assets and trade secrets, among other things, in order to develop Dark and Darker. According to Iron Mace, as well as the fact that the case is no longer ongoing in the United States, and the devs continue to work on the game throughout the lawsuit, I don't think this lawsuit holds any ground, and I don't believe that this early access release is a cash grab at all. With all the drama surrounding the game, and the game getting removed from Steam, you may be wondering whether or not the early access game is worth the $35 minimum price. As someone who put well over 100 hours in the game while I was still going through the closed betas, I can easily say yes. As to which edition you should buy the normal edition unless you care about the cosmetics or being involved in the beta test for future updates. The skill ceiling in this game is incredibly high, partly due to the game's perceived simplicity. This adds to the replayability of the game because it gets easier and easier to take on the AI and other players in fights depending on your skill level and the level of gear that you have. That's all for this review. I've been Captainblammo. I'll be putting out more Dark and Darker content like beginner guides in the near future, so subscribe if you want to see that, and I hope to see you in the dungeon. Peace.